right now, just waiting for the car. We're going to Cipriani Downtown. It's my first Cipriani, I think, in New York, so I'm excited. I love their food, and it looks like I'm looking up right. It's still so cold. I'm so excited to eat. I can't wait to come here in the summertime and sit outdoor, but for now, we're going in. You guys, this is the love of my life. Eggplant parm and the breadsticks that I already ate like 3 of. We got ribeye, the veal. Here's our desserts. I love their vanilla gelato. And then the short cookies. And then that is is it lemon ricotta? Cheesecake. So pretty. The toppings. Hey guys, so the granola I made the other day, oh my god, you guys, I mean, it's almost gone. It is the best granola I have personally ever made. At the time, I remember I didn't realize I was actually out of maple syrup. But then in my fridge, I actually found the Williams-Sonoma pumpkin spice maple syrup. Do you guys know what that is? You guys. This, well, I don't know if this was like the game changer, but I use this instead of my normal, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, hold on. I use this one instead of my normal maple syrup. But the thing is, I can't really taste like pumpkin in my granola, so I don't know if this just added like more depth, but I did also use a lot more maple syrup than my initial recipe, so I will leave my updated recipe in the description box if you guys want to like recreate it. But to be honest, I always like eyeball everything, so it's not like the exact, what is it, like measurements? Is measurement the right word? Cups and tablespoons and all that stuff. I just eyeball everything, measure with your heart. I'm gonna follow my own like updated recipe one more time this week, probably like tomorrow or the next day, to make this again and see how it turns out. But the thing is, you guys, this is only like available in the fall time, obviously. This is something I've literally been buying every single year. This one is a little pricey, but I should have gotten more when they like go on clearance, like after like the holidays and everything, especially when like all the Thanksgiving stuff is kind of like, you know, behind us. They tend to go on sale, but I just had so much left this year that I didn't grab it. And then because my granola turned out so insanely good, I went on Williams-Sonoma to see if I can still get it, and unfortunately I cannot. They are so cheap right now, like $7 or something. Crazy, but they do not ship online, however. So if you can, you know, find it in your store, grab it. So yeah, until fall time, I have to figure out a way to recreate this flavor, but hopefully it wasn't just this maple syrup. But yeah, I used way less cocoa powder. I used salt, but definitely a lot more maple syrup than normal. You guys, like, I could honestly sell this. Like, dare I say it is sellable. My boyfriend never eats granola, and he said this is good. And he ate this like 2 days straight, which is like unheard of. Oh my god, my hands are like sticky now. I'll be back. So yeah, I had to mention it. And right now I want to share with you guys my experience of moving from California to here. One of you actually asked me a couple days ago in like the comment section asking for like any tips and my experience just overall. So there are a couple things that I definitely want to like highlight, and I have moved around quite a bit in my life, internationally, like out of state and all that stuff, but this was like my first time moving out of state so far apart too, with an animal and a closet full of things that I love. So number one, when it comes to your pet, in my experience is only from California to New York, so I'm not entirely sure like if this applies to every single state. Because it's a live animal coming from a different state, you do need to talk to your airline about it. I think it also depends on the airline, but yeah, your flight and your airline needs to okay bringing your pet on board, because I believe there are certain like dog breeds especially that certain airlines do not allow because of, you know, the way their like airways are. And then you book your flight, you call, I think I booked my flight and then called the airline just to make sure, and also give them a heads up that I do have a pet coming with me, because when you're booking a flight, there's like no place to indicate that you have a pet, but your pet is going to, for the most part, like count as your personal item or carry-on, but I'm pretty sure it was a personal item, so you can still bring a carry-on. And then I forget the exact like time period, but maybe like 7 to 10 days prior to entering the state, you do have to get a checkup. So you have to schedule that with your vet. They just want to make sure, you know, like your pet is in good health, and then provide that paperwork to the airline. So definitely plan ahead. And then as for like the whole moving situation, there's a lot of moving companies. There's different types of moving companies as well. But if you have a lot of stuff, like whether it's furniture, whether it's valuables, from my experience, I would suggest you to basically not cheap out on the truck. When you find a moving company, definitely do your research, because all the negative experiences will be like somewhere on the review section. I think it's called like pods or something. You basically fill up like a truck, like a pod with all your stuff, and then the moving company, I don't know if they outsource like drivers or something like that, but they wait until they have enough like trucks, they have enough stuff like pods before actually starting that journey, because they want that drive to be like worthwhile. You know, they don't want to just go from California to New York for one family if they can just do 3 families at once. But in that case, it could take a longer period. I think the quote I was given was like 2 weeks or something like that. It wasn't like even definite either. So another way is finding a moving company that will just work with you. So we had our own truck. We filled that up with all our stuff, boxes and everything like that. And then we actually bought our own lock, because I don't know if that was required or they suggested it or recommended, but yeah, we bought our own lock. And then we locked it ourselves, and then they drove it off. And even that, I think, took about a week. So for an entire week, I was furnitureless. I was like, I had nothing with me. I literally ate like takeout every single day. I would buy coffee, and by the time I get home, it's like cold, so I would like microwave it. It was kind of sad. And there was like nowhere to sit, and my entire apartment was like so echoey. It was so funny. But yeah, at least we had that like peace of mind that all our stuff is like in one place. Oh, and then for the moving truck, I also talked to the moving company and also the drivers, and asked if I can put some like air tags in my stuff and like in my boxes, and they were totally okay with it. So I was able to like track the process. So there were definitely things in motion that gave me like some peace of mind. So it was definitely like better than nothing, but I was kind of scared because like anything can happen. It's such a long drive. They're on the road for like a week. And then when it came down to like the packing itself, I think I was honestly packing for the entire month, and I had to figure out what would stay with me, because I can fly with some of my stuff. So even though Charlie counted as my personal item, I still had a carry-on, and even though it's a domestic flight, technically you can still check your luggage, right? It's gonna depend on like the airline once again, maybe your like airline status as well, but for me in the beginning, I was kind of like worried about like all my valuables, that I was going to like fill up all my suitcases, especially if you have a lot of suitcases. Like I would use all of them, you know? And if I could like check all those luggages, paying that extra fee, I felt like it was gonna be worth it, just so I know I have it with me. But then again, like when you fly, there's always a chance of like losing your luggage, like anything can happen. And my boyfriend honestly like couldn't really relate to me. He was like, I don't care about any of my stuff, so it's mainly you. But because I was like packing, decluttering like for a month, like towards the end, I was so over it. Like honestly, I was so over it. Like at the end of the day, everything is in a way replaceable. It's just a thing. All material things are just material things, you know, that is it. If they're meant to be with me in New York, they will be. So I just kind of like let go. But I am very like type A, I'm very like organized as well. So I also, on top of all of that, I also create a list of every single box that we had. But then we had so many boxes, you guys. I mean, mostly like all my stuff, but like, oh my God, there were so many boxes. So what I did was actually numbering every single box. And then at the very end, once I figured out like how many boxes I had, let's say like 30, right? Then I would go back and say 1 out of 30. So I know like how many boxes there are. And then I wrote down on my phone, like my notes app. I honestly wanted to write down like a lot of details, but again, I was just so over it at the end. So what I did was just very basic like keywords, but I did write down what kind of box it was. So like number 1, heavy duty, extra large, right? And then like keywords were like Charlie stuff. And then number 2, medium, heavy duty, and then like kitchen appliances, like something like that. Thinking back, like there was no need to, because I didn't realize at the time that once the movers started coming in and bringing all the boxes, it was just so fast paced. It was like kind of overwhelming. Like I couldn't even like keep up with it. Like I couldn't even tell that they had all the boxes in, and then they bring everything like in random order. So it wasn't like I could just keep track of all the boxes. But as I was unpacking, I just kind of like crossed off all the boxes that I did find. I think especially in cities, like very populated cities like New York, I think it's also gonna depend on your apartment or like your house, your building or whatever. I'm pretty sure you will have to give your apartment or your building a heads up. Depending on like where you live, that truck can, you know, obstruct like all the traffic and all that stuff. And then what I didn't know, what I learned from this experience was that you also need insurance for that. But my building asked for the insurance from the moving company, so they had to like send over that paperwork. Oh, 2 things, your car, and also like once you ship away everything. We didn't move with any of our cars. I actually sold mine, so that made the move a lot easier in my opinion. One less thing to worry about. And once I packed all my furniture away and the moving truck had left, even though we didn't have a couch, so there was like nowhere to sit and all that stuff, I still had a desk that I was going to like give away anyway, so I just like worked there. I ate on my like kitchen counter, and I sat on the bench that we ended up giving away as well. So if you have any furniture that you're not going to take with you, whether it's like giving it away or like selling, you can like, you know, use that to your advantage. We still had our bed till the day we moved out. We just gave it away. And then with Amazon nowadays, like you can just, you know, have everything like shipped to your new place. So there was another bed waiting for us. Although, however, like all the bed frame and everything got delayed, so we just slept on the mattress for some time, but you know, that's better than nothing. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me know if you have any like other questions. It doesn't have to be like about the move, but any like questions you might have. I love doing like Q&As, so I hope this was helpful for you guys, and good luck. We came here for lunch. I don't know if they have it in Napa, but I feel like I've seen one in Napa. Very similar. It's so pretty here. And we're sitting next to the piano. It's so cool. She's so cute. There's another wiener in the restaurant right now. We got French onion soup, and then look at the escargot. And then we're ending it with steak fries. It smells so good.